Hi guys, everyone, including me, loves tiny little lavalier microphones, and these two right here are two of the most popular being sold right now. We have the DJI Mic Mini and the Hollyland Lark M2. But would you be surprised to learn, because I was surprised to learn, that neither of these companies are the best-selling internet microphone company. No, that honor goes to this company right here. This is the Maono company, and they have released a brand new microphone, the Wave T5. And when I heard the sound quality coupled with all of the accessories and features you get for the price, I could see why they are moving so many units. We need to talk about it. If you are a fan of value, this video is going to knock the cotton socks right off of your feet. Now, the Maono company did reach out to me and they offered to sponsor this video because they know these two microphones are very popular here on the channel, and they think their microphone competes and in some ways surpasses these two microphones. So they asked me, would I compare their microphone to these other two popular mics? So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to put the Wave T5, the Lark M2, and the DJI Mic Mini head to head. I will put them in the same environment. You can hear the sound quality for yourself and decide whether or not you think the Maono company is right. Now, before I jump into the sound test, let me show you what you get in the kit if you get the full combo kit that I have here. You get a very nice semi-hard shell case that fits everything very neatly inside. But if you want an even smaller footprint in your camera bag, you can just use an included bag that they have and throw all of your mics and accessories in that little bag and take up even less room. You have a compact charging case that houses the two transmitters and the receiver. You can get up to 30 hours of battery life if you are using the charging case. The receiver itself is dead simple, very easy to use. You have 3 levels of volume that are indicated with the 3 lights on the front. There is actually a switch to go from stereo to mono, and I think that is fantastic. I can switch from mono to stereo easy on the receiver without a touchscreen. You have a power button on the side that, if you press once, actually goes into noise canceling mode. And this noise canceling is AI noise canceling. And there are not just 3 levels. They give you 3 levels of standard noise canceling, but there's also a custom function where you can program in, you can dial in specifically the amount of noise reduction that you want in your microphones. And that is a new thing. You have a USB-C port on the side. The transmitters are minuscule. They weigh only 9 grams, including the magnet. Without the magnet, they are 7 grams. There is a button for muting or unmuting, which I don't always see on these little microphones, and a power button, which also can turn your noise canceling on or off. The transmitter has a much more subtle logo than most of the lavalier systems that are out today, but if you wanted to go completely covert, you can use the reusable stickers and cover up that logo entirely. Also comes with a couple of necklaces, so you can just quickly take it on and off, or maybe you want to interview somebody, just grab that necklace, put it around their neck. Don't let them run off with it, yank them by the necklace. Don't let them steal your fancy new mic. Comes with a 3.5mm cable to attach to your mirrorless camera and a USB-C cord for charging. Comes with 2 furry wind muffs, much like the Hollyland Lark M2. It goes all the way around your transmitter. There is a little arrow on the back of the transmitter to tell you which way the mic capsule is pointing, so you know where to put it when you're attaching it to your clothing. But I don't love having that big furry wind muff on me, so what I like to do is I just put it under my shirt, I just reverse it and have the magnet sticking out, and look how small and subtle that is. And you really don't lose a lot of audio quality, a little bit of low end, but I could certainly live with it so that I can have a more discreet setup. I do the same thing with the Hollyland Lark M2 and, in fact, the DJI Mic 2 as well. The combo pack also comes with 2 more receivers. These ones are for your tablet or your phone. There is an Apple Lightning receiver as well as a USB receiver. And these things are great. Look how small that is on my phone. And this one has the added feature that you can charge your phone while you have the microphone in there. As well, you can do stereo out, so your tracks can be separated if you're using a phone. So you take out the 2 transmitters and you have 2 different people speaking, they will come in on separate tracks. Unfortunately, the Hollyland Lark M2, when you are using a phone or a tablet, both of the transmitters get merged together and you cannot separate them in post. Now, of course, the Hollyland will still output stereo separate tracks to your mirrorless camera, just not your mobile device. When it comes to DJI, they can do stereo tracks to your camera and your mobile device. However, they do it a little bit different, and in my opinion, it's a little more cumbersome because you have to take the receiver that you normally put in your mirrorless camera, and then you slide the back off right here, and you put on this little USB-C or Lightning accessory, and then you put the entire thing on your phone. So it's much bigger and a little more convoluted. I prefer to have this tiny little extra receiver, just goes right into my phone. In terms of form factor, the Wave T5 and the Hollyland Lark M2 are quite similar. They have 3 levels of volume that is done by lights on the front of these receivers. Very simple to use, and I think that is a benefit. The DJI has a bit of a bigger receiver, and it has a scroll wheel for adjusting your volume and some lights, but no LCD screen on the DJI. Once again, the Wave T5 transmitters are very similar to the Hollyland M2 transmitters, and both of these are much smaller and thinner than the DJI. DJI has a little clip on the back that you can't remove, and the actual transmitter itself is a little bit thicker. The Lark M2 has similar accessories to the Wave T5 with the magnets on the back, the magnetic clips, the little necklaces, the reusable stickers, and the large furry wind muffs. DJI has a much better wind muff implementation, in my opinion. It just clips onto the top, and I love that the charging case for the DJI actually houses the receiver, the 2 transmitters with their furry wind muffs, and the 3.5mm cord all in this little case. And while it's great that most of what you need fits in this case, I find I take along the DJI pouch anyway because I need something to carry it in, and I also like to take my USB-C charging cord and the other 2 extra wind muffs that DJI provides. Hollyland also offers a little bag to put everything in, and that's what I do. I just cinch it up and take that. Nobody but the Wave T5 provides the additional semi-hard shell case. And now let's do some of those sound tests, and then I will tell you about the advantages and disadvantages each mic has over the other. But let's go outside right now. Now we are out in the real world, vlogging our nonsense, talking about all the important things that I need to talk about during this vlog. So this is the type of sound quality that you can expect. I personally think it sounds fantastic. I love how small and lightweight that microphone is. You can barely feel it when it is on, and that is a prerequisite when it comes to a lavalier microphone for me, as this car passes by trying to ruin my perfect vlogging experience. So what do you guys think of it down below? You let me know in the comments. I will now compare it to the Lark M2 and the DJI as well. So just for context, this is the sound of the Hollyland Lark M2 going into my ZV-E10 Mark II. That is how this microphone sounds when you're out and about in the world. Let's check the DJI. And this is the sound of the DJI Mic 2 going straight into my ZV-E10 Mark II as I look around to see who is watching me. They probably want my autograph, or they want me to get out of their driveway. And now I will do a controlled environment studio test. Right now you're listening to the microphone on my ZV-E10 Mark II because I want to cleanse the palette. I don't want these microphones to have to compete with my $1,200 studio mic setup. I have a Rode NTG3 going into a 32-bit float recorder. So consider this the palette cleanser. Here we go, studio test. This is the sound of the Wave T5 going straight into my ZV-E10 Mark II. This is the sound of the DJI Mic Mini going straight into my ZV-E10 Mark II. This is the sound of the Hollyland Lark M2 going straight into my ZV-E10 Mark II. Mark Bennett is as handsome as he is intelligent, which is very. Mark Bennett is as handsome as he is intelligent, which is very. Mark Bennett is as handsome as he is intelligent, which is very. But let me show you a few more features, and the first one I will mention is the app. It is quite a robust app, much like the DJI Mic Mini. This is a really good app. Hollyland Lark M2, really, it's a very basic app. You can adjust the volume and turn noise canceling on or off, update your firmware. That is about it, but you can do much more with the other 2 microphones. So as you can see here, here's my Wave T5. Nice photo of the Wave T5. I can control the microphone gain from it right here, and the noise reduction, I can turn it on, and now you see slight, moderate, aggressive, or custom, where I can change the level of the aggression of my noise canceling. So I will turn it back to slight. Actually, I'll just turn it off. And now we have sound coloration. Now this is something that I have not seen on many microphones. I'm not sure if I've ever seen this, where you can change the microphone to suit your voice. They have a brightness, warmth, huskiness. Oh, that's the one that I'd like, and a voice enhancer. So you can play with those and decide if one of them makes your voice sound a little better than your real voice. On the bottom, you see channel, you see mono and stereo. This is where you can switch it so that you can get the microphones on separate tracks when you are going to your mobile device. And of course, you can update your firmware from the app, which I have already done with no trouble at all. Since we just looked at the AI noise canceling, let's go out in the field and try it out. So I'm actually recording the audio with my iPhone right now because it'll be easier to switch between the noise canceling modes. Right now, I am by a busy street and someone is trying to get me demonetized with their annoying music. So let's turn on the first level of noise canceling. This is called slight. So now we have the noise canceling on slight, and hopefully that is eliminating that guy's terrible, terrible music. And I really don't want this to demonetize the video. Some people, right? Don't they know that I am a famous YouTuber? Let's turn it off again. Now the audio is back to the normal mode. Let's try a more aggressive mode. So now we're back to no noise canceling. Let's switch to the middle one that they call moderate. Now we are on the moderate noise canceling mode, and maybe those cicadas that never shut up this time of year are harder to hear. And we do have one more mode that is the aggressive mode. And now let's test out that aggressive mode of AI noise canceling. The aggressive mode has been enabled. Can't you tell from my face? This is how I feel on a daily basis. The aggressive mode. Now, oh, here comes a big old truck. So let's see, are you picking that up here with the noise canceling on? Probably not. Now, I normally like to do my noise canceling in post, but it's great to have it here, especially customizable. Let me turn it off again so you can hear this truck. Toronto streets. Now, normally I like to do my noise canceling in post in Final Cut. I find it works pretty well, but it's great to have it here in the microphone in case you don't have access to a program where you can reduce the noise in post. I think I would land somewhere, I'd probably do a custom, and I'd land somewhere between the slight and the moderate. I like the slight because it didn't change the sound of my voice too much, but it did cut out some background noise. I want it a little stronger than slight, but maybe not as strong as moderate, and I can do that with this microphone with the custom button. When we're talking about advantages and disadvantages of these microphones, the price has got to be a major advantage. They are both around $109 the last time I checked USD, and the DJI starts at $169. Although I think I did see it on sale for $140 recently, so you can check that out for yourself. However, you do get some extra functionality with the DJI for that extra price. It has Bluetooth inside, so you can connect that directly to your phone or tablet. Now, that is not my favorite way to use a wireless microphone going through Bluetooth because the sound quality, it really degrades and the signal is a little bit inconsistent. However, if you have a DJI device, that is a different story. They use the Osmo Wireless Connect, and it connects very strongly and has an excellent signal to DJI devices like the Action 4, Action 5, and Pocket 3. So if you have a DJI device, it is very tempting and maybe sensible to buy the DJI Mic Mini. The Mic Mini also has an optional accessory where you can plug into the Sony Hot Shoe and you don't need any wires. Just put in the receiver to that little device, stick it into the Sony Hot Shoe. You don't need that 3.5 millimeter cable. Now, I don't have one of those. I've been trying to buy one, but they're sold out everywhere. Still, I think that's a great advantage for the DJI. Now, the Hollyland Lark M2 really doesn't have any advantages unless you prefer the sound quality of the Hollyland because it has the same accessories. It is about the same price. You also can't split your audio when you're using a mobile device into two separate tracks. Now, I should mention, if you are going to use phone or tablet only, you don't need any of those three microphones. If you're not going to hook it up to a mirrorless camera, you could just get this T1. Look at how tiny this thing is. So this can connect to your iPhone or to your Android phone or to your tablet. Let me just take out these tiny little transmitters and the receiver. Look, these are the transmitters right there. Look at how cute and adorable they are. There's a little clip on the back to clip to your clothing. And look at this. I can't even hold it in my fingers. It's so small. Oh my God, I love these things. Now, I will say one of the disadvantages of these microphones is that you can't split these into stereo tracks and have separate tracks. If you're going on the iPhone, much like the Hollyland, it's going to merge the two voices onto the same track. And these also have a cool app with the noise reduction where you can do slight, moderate, aggressive, or custom. You can also do that same sound calibration, and you have a voice changer. Uncle Goddess Baby Voice Original. Oh, I gotta try that. So now I am using my iPhone microphone. This is the original sound.
This is the sound of my voice if I was an uncle. That is the version I am on, but I am an uncle. I do have nephews and nieces, so maybe it's just my regular voice.
And this is my voice if I was a goddess. This is how goddesses sound, apparently, if they have my voice going through this microphone system. Do I sound like a goddess? I hope so.
And these tiny little microphones are definitely not going to break the bank. I believe they're under $50, somewhere around $45. So if you don't need a mirrorless camera, give these a shot. Let me know down below which of these 3 microphones you prefer and why. We can have a nice little discussion about it. Thanks for watching this. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.